What's up guys, it's Andrew from Motorcycles Off-Road, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Honda 300L versus the Honda 300L Rally, and which one may be the right bike for you, followed by my opinions on the matter. So firstly, if you know the channel, you know I've made a ton of content on the Honda 300L. Personally, I love this bike, and I'm trying to be one of the best resources for information on these two motorcycles. So I do have the 300L and not the Rally, but I'm in the process of getting the Rally to add to my stable, which I'll be able to upgrade differently, as well as compare these two motorcycles side by side in the near future. So if you're interested in that, or you find any of my content entertaining, useful, helpful at all, please hit the like button and subscribe. I keep a counter at the bottom so we can all grow together. So let's break it down. The first thing to mention is the price difference between the two models. I have the US MSRP here, and of course you pay your own personal sales tax, dealer fees, etc. So those prices will vary depending on where you live or where you're located, but this is the same for any new motorcycle. As you can see, the 300 Rally has an increase in MSRP. So what exactly are you getting for the higher MSRP? Well, you will notice the upgraded headlights, the windscreen. So right away you can see the Rally is more geared towards adventure type riding, and the 300L is more of a dual sport. The next big thing to mention is the increased fuel capacity. The Rally can hold much more fuel and has a much longer range. And in fact, I did a whole video about setting up the Rally for adventures like the Trans-American Trail or a BDR. Not saying you can't do something like this on the L, I'm just saying the Rally is already a few steps ahead and set up for this type of riding. The Rally offers a lot more wind protection with its fairings, as well as a nice USB charger for either your devices or your GPS. Also, you will notice Honda weighs their bikes as wet weight, so that also counts full of all fuel. That extra fuel does add some weight, as well as the extras as far as the fairings, which makes the Rally weigh about 28 pounds or 12.7 kilograms more than the L. Next thing to note is the seat height. Some people might be interested to know that the Rally sits a little bit higher. If you have trouble with the height of the 300L, you will notice the half inch or 13 millimeter increase in height on the Rally, but largely I feel it's basically insignificant. So it is interesting that Honda decided to make a Superlight ADV, and honestly I think it's a great marketing idea. Instead of competing with Kawasaki, who have one of the best and only supermotos new on the market, Honda went a different route. They decided to make a low cost, low maintenance, light ADV bike. I mean, you don't have to look far to find the usefulness of this motorcycle. Lee on her channel Itchy Boots is currently taking this motorcycle from the bottom of South America all the way up through US and Canada to Alaska. That is a huge endeavor, and that is a long ride on a motorcycle. She is doing this on a Rally, and it really shows the resilience of this platform. So far, the only issue she's had was her kickstand breaking, and by no fault of the motorcycle, it was because of being strapped down poorly on very choppy waters on a boat ride.
Or Alaska's side stand is broken. She wasn't leaning on the side stand. Actually, we should have just kept it in. I don't know why it was out. It wasn't doing anything. But we hit a big wave and there went her side stand. Poor Alaska. Poor Alaska. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I'm gonna have to find a welder in Bluefield.
So which bike is for you? Well, that really depends on the type of riding you want to do with this motorcycle. See, Honda is doing something what I feel is really great here with the 300L platform. They made a super inexpensive brand new platform in which you can customize to fit your own needs and liking. Sure, the 300L range has its shortcomings, but for most dual sport riders, the majority of people who buy this motorcycle, things like the suspension will be completely fine. But at this price point, you can do mods like exhaust, ECU, and suspension, putting it near the price of some of its competitors in a similar price range, and in my opinion you would still get an overall better bike altogether. Now the Rally is really just a customized version of the Honda 300L in a different direction. Let's be clear, if you tried to make the 300L the Rally itself, it would cost much more than the Rally's MSRP, making the Rally a huge bargain for anyone looking for an inexpensive light ADV bike. I mean, the bigger fuel tank and the windscreen alone are worth the increase in the rally's MSRP. So once again, the real decision is what you want to do and what you need this bike for. If you want to do single track, more aggressive riding, tight turns, then the 300L wins out for sure. The lighter weight, less parts to break like the fairings, and on that type of riding, it's actually more pleasant to have less wind protection. On a really hot summer day, and you're working hard with your body to keep your bike on a single track, up and down hills and standing, take it from me, it is a lot more pleasant to feel that nice open air on your body. But on the flip side, if you're doing long stretches of road on the highway, the wind protection is a good thing, and wind protection can also extend your riding season just a bit. Although the larger fuel tank, that can be another problem. A lot of people don't think about this, but on a tight trail, a larger fuel tank can be a double negative. Obviously, the more fuel weighs more, and it's in a top-heavy position, but on tight turns, a bigger fuel tank means more slashing around, and that actually works against you when you try to make quick changes in direction, as well as keep the bike stable, because obviously the space that's unoccupied inside a fuel tank, and liquid being liquid, as a fluid matter with weight, will push around in a space and work against you to moving your bike. So it's also a big thing to consider. It is an interesting perspective to have, but it is true that these two platforms, being very similar, will offer completely different riding experiences. This is why personally I want to get a 300L Rally now, as well as having a 300L, because man, I love my 300L. And I've done a side-by-side comparison to all the late model bikes I can get my hands on. But the perspective of getting a new Rally and setting it up for light ADV and solo motor camping is really interesting to me. Not only would it be great to bring that content to you guys, and that's kind of how I justify it in my head, but it's also a very exciting and super fun idea to have this additional bike that's very similar, but I can mod and set up in a completely different way. And if you do have a new motorcycle, you guys know that there's something great about buying something that you really enjoy. You work really hard for your money. I have 2 jobs besides this YouTube channel, and it's just gratifying to see your hard-earned cash go to something you love. This fall, I'll be taking a 450-mile 4-day motor camping trip, and I would love to do that on the Rally. I'll definitely be making content for the channel for that. And now you could say, well, you have your Tenere, and I do. I mostly use that for 2-up adventures with my girlfriend, but for that 450-mile trip, I am lending it out to my buddy, who's also going to go on the trip and help me with camera work. So it's a win-win. So for me, the Rally is going to be a perfect addition for this trip. But I have a feeling if you watch this long, you either have a 300L, or you have a Rally, or you have big plans to buy one. Tell me in the comments below if you're getting one or if you have one, which one you decided to get or have, because I am interested to process and understand why a lot of people have chose one of these bikes over the other. There could be a ton of things I'm missing here because, as I said, I do not yet own both motorcycles, and also the kind of person I am, I do like to see other people's perspective on subjects that I'm very interested in. So please put your thoughts down below. As you're writing those comments below, I would just talk for a minute about upcoming things on the channel. I would love to do a comparison with a WR250. I used to have a WR250R, but I sold it at least, I don't know, 2 years before I've got my 300L. But if I'm going to do a fair comparison / review, I would like to get some more saddle time on the WR side by side versus the 300L. And I don't really feel like buying one right now just for that review. So I've been looking around to try to find someone who has one in my local area and make it mutually beneficial for both of us. I also can't wait to do some more moto camping. I almost went out this weekend. A couple of my buddies went out to the Pine Barrens and they camped, and I was going to take the Tenere out there, but I just did so much yard work in my yard, getting the garden ready, planting a bunch of fruit trees, cutting down a bunch of branches just to open everything up, and I was just tired. So much work. But the weather is changing and it's beautiful out, so I'm going to have more content for you guys. Definitely more moto camping, definitely more discussions about the 300L, some Tenere stuff. I'm just trying to get out there and enjoy my life. And I hope you guys are doing the same. And we passed over 1 million views a few weeks ago, which is super awesome. I've only been doing this channel for like 10 months. So all the support from you guys is greatly appreciated. You guys have been awesome to me, and for that I thank you. But wrapping it up, if you're new, please subscribe. Make sure you let me know below about your 300L or your prospect of what you want to get, and hit the thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Wave to other motorcycle riders, and stay safe out there, guys. My name is Andrew, and this is Motorcycles Off-Road. Thanks, guys.